Hello, today I'll be helping you find the Grafted Greatsword. The Grafted Greatsword is a weapon in Elden Ring that belongs to the Colossal Greatsword class. It requires 40 strength and 14 dexterity. It is dropped from a boss, which can be found in Castle Morn. Castle Morn is located on the Weeping Peninsula, which is south of the starting place of Limgrave. Here is a short video showing on how to get to the general area of it. Here we're starting at where you start the game. It's called the first step, and I shall take you step by step or by horse to the first not bonfire, but first grace site, which is inside this church here. Here you'll find the first grace site as well as the first merchant you come across. We continue on here down this path until we find a new settlement. That will be soon. Any enemies you come across will be basically moot when on a horse because they will not be able to attack you. As you approach this settlement, you're going to want to veer to the right. Once you reach the middle, this pillar here, or this obelisk, at the base of it will be a map of the area. Pick this up to make it easier for you to travel across this land. To the right of the settlement where we are headed now, there is a grace point. This grace is helpful for starting players because that is where you'll get this horse named Torrent. As we continue along this path, if you are taking it at night, you will find a mini boss called the Night Cavalry. He is difficult if you do not know how to play the game super well, so I wouldn't suggest it for low-level characters. This is not the boss after all. It is just a normal enemy, and I would veer around them so you are prevented from getting hit. Enemies on horses are faster than enemies on their feet and can hit you. This carriage does carry an item, but the two giants carrying the carriage are not dangerous unless attacked upon. Avoid the enemies behind it as well, as they can kill you. As you see, we're continuing down this one path. You're going to want to veer around any horse enemies. You're going to want to go completely south. It is south of the starting area. Just following this path will get you there pretty easily. As you see, we're coming up on a bridge. This bridge, it can be dangerous. I would approach it from the left side as I do here. There is a catapult on it that shoots exploding bolts, and it will knock you off your horse if you do get directly hit by it. And that will put you in a bad situation as there are a few amount of enemies on this bridge. But once you pass this bridge, you'll just need to basically U-turn or turn right, and you'll find the grace point which starts the Weeping Peninsula. Next, I'll take you from the Weeping Peninsula to Castle Morn. This is where you'll actually be able to obtain the weapon. We continue down the path that we were on. We'll just head south still. And you'll come across enemies. If you want to take them out, take them out. And if not, just walk right through them. Coming up, On the right side of this, you'll see a golden tree up on the hill after we pass this knight cavalry. Up here on the left, we have a grace and another merchant. I would gather this just in case you end up dying soon. Right there to our right is the knight cavalry, which is a mini boss, and I would avoid it if you are not too skilled. Coming up in front of us, there is an obelisk. This will have a map for the Weeping Peninsula itself. This will help you get around the Weeping Peninsula apart from just going to Castle Morn. Up here on the right, we have a golden tree or sprout. This will allow you to collect a golden seed, which allows you to upgrade your flask of Chrisman Tears, which is your health. As you approach the castle, there will be a golem that is roughly 50 feet tall. It will be shooting a great bow at you. It's pretty easy to dodge. If you do get hit, you'll get knocked off. And he is super weak at the legs. And once you kill him, he will not respawn. This is the starting grace site in the beginning of Castle Morn. From here, we will take the elevator, which is directly behind the grace. This elevator leads us into a pretty large area. This area is heavily infested with enemies. These enemies will swarm you, so I would suggest either taking them out one by one, or if you're just trying to run through, just run through them like I shall show you here. There are quite a few items in that area, so if you do want to explore that area, it is beneficial. After entering the building, you just want to go walk down these stairs. Up this ladder. The enemies will follow you, so if you do want to kill them, you can. And then you'll be taking this next ladder. You'll run until you find a little break in the wall, and you'll turn left, drop off the wall, and continue straight. Once reaching this edge on the left, you'll just keep on going straight. And there'll be another break on the wall at the very end on the right, as you can see here, where you can drop down and find a grace. After you find this grace, you just have to continue falling down. Be careful when falling down, as gravity does kill in this game, and you do take fall damage. You just want to continue going down, following the path I'm taking here onto this building. Make sure you jump sometimes, just in case you might have a little gap in between, and if you don't jump, you will fall to your death. Also, be careful of where you are jumping, just in case, because you might overjump or overcommit and end up in a worse place, especially right here. If you fall down the hole and you unfortunately miss any of the pillars in the middle, you will die, as it is too far of a drop for you to survive. Once actually getting to the bottom, you'll take a left to find the last grace point of this area, which is right here. After this, the boss arena where you're actually going to be able to obtain the item is going to be very close. You're going to go to this bridge, you're going to fall off of it. And right there is the boss room, as you can see. One note to take is water is dangerous, so you're going to stay away from the edges, as you will be able to fall off, as you can see right here. This boss can be difficult for lower levels, so I would come in around level 35 to 40. I am currently over leveled, so this boss fight for me was not a challenge. For others that are going to be doing this boss, he is hyper aggressive, So all you really need to do is dodge mostly to the left if you can. After defeating this boss is when you'll receive the boss weapon, which is the Grafted Blade Greatsword. This is my tutorial on how to obtain the Grafted Greatsword.